hear a chicken. Sorry, I got distracted right away. We do have a chicken on the loose. Not our chicken. Someone else's chicken in our yard. And so, I don't know where this chicken belongs. But we have been housing it for several days now. But I can hear it clucking. Anyway, hello chickies, welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah, and today we are doing my September TBR. Now this month I'm actually not doing our usual spin wheel to choose the prompts for this month. No, instead I am going to take part in the Cryptid Creatures Readathon run by Teresa over on Sweet Tea Reads. This is the second year she's done this readathon and my first time participating, and I am actually taking part in the Teams Challenge. So that should be exciting. You can find all the details of the readathon and the Google Drives and everything over on this video, and I'll link a channel down below as well, and all the hashtags and everything should be in the description too. Teresa has actually teamed up with Nala from Here There Be Stories, and they are the two team leaders for the challenge. So Nala's team is Team Bigfoot, and then Teresa's team is Team Chupacabra. And I am actually going to be joining Teresa's team, Team Chupacabra. Each of the teams actually has a team challenge that they can fulfill in order to get extra points. And for Team Chupacabra, our book covers, if they have G-O-A-T, or goat, in the title or on the cover somewhere, we get an extra amount of points. There are a total of 16 prompts on the bingo board for the challenge, and I have chosen a book for every single one. Since I'm doing the team challenge, I have to get a book for each one. Am I going to black out this board? No. Some of these books are really short, but some are super long, and I just don't see myself fulfilling that many this month, but hopefully we get a few bingos. I am an indie self-published author, so I am organising book covers and editors and stuff for book 2. And so I have a lot of other stuff that's going to be trying to happen, but also we might be moving. So packing might also be a thing. And it's a lot. Nothing is happening immediately or set in stone. They're just the what ifs. And it all kind of just compiled for the last few months of this year. So we'll try and get a couple of bingos, but I'm also going to play it as a game. So it depends if I roll correctly. There's your little hint. But yeah, future videos will be playing along with this game for this challenge. So huge thanks to Teresa and Nala, but I am Team Chupacabra, so go Team Chupacabra. Good luck to the other team too. Since there are 16 books that I have chosen, we're just going to sort of go through. I'm going to give the rough gist of each of them, but we're going to dwell on it more in future vlogs for the challenge. If I do look down, there are notes down there. I can't be memorizing. The little chronic illness brain does not allow that at this point in time. So I have notes. So the first prompt we have is Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, and it is read a TBR vet or veteran. For this one, I just went onto Storygraph and I went to the earliest added to the TBR, and it told me which book I first added, and that is Trixie, Belden, and the Mystery in Arizona. This is book 6 in the Trixie Belden series. It is a middle grade mystery, and this particular book is written by Julie Campbell. We are following Trixie, who is a young sleuth, along with her brothers and friends. They make this little group called the Bob Whites. And in this one, we are going to Arizona, to the ranches. I believe one of the uncles of the friends lives there, so they're going to go visit. But of course, they're not just going to visit and ride horses. No, they're going to stumble upon a mystery, and Trixie is going to probably solve it, hopefully. That makes the first book on our little pile. Next up we have the Orang Pendek. Hopefully I pronounced that alright. I wouldn't know. I'm not huge on cryptid knowledge. I am just joining for the vibes. And this prompt is, read a book under 300 pages. Now, I had many options for this one. However, I did end up going with one that has been on my list for a while, and I keep forgetting it's on my list because it's part of a big book that is a collection of them all. blanking on what that's called right now. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair, which is number 6 in the Chronicles of Narnia series. This is a classic children's fiction series by C.S. Lewis, who is a Christian author. And I feel like a lot of people know about the Chronicles of Narnia. There's not much needs to be said about it. It is a fantasy fiction. I did read this book a long time ago, and I recall really enjoying it. So we'll see what it's like on the second read through. Prompt number 3 is Mothman, which is read a 5-star prediction. Now, as you can see, I am a manga and manhwa fan. Manhwas are Korean visual novels. So a lot of the ones that I know are 5 stars are usually in those two sectors. Actual books I go into with 0 expectations because I have gone in with 5-star predictions in the past and been disappointed. So to reduce the disappointment, I usually just go in with no thoughts. So I do have a manhwa for answering this prompt. The team's challenge, it is based off pages read and then extra points you gain. So with manhwas and mangas, one of the rules is that it only counts as half pages. So this one is 356 pages long, but it only counts for half of that. So 180 or something. Yet I couldn't go past it. So we have A Stepmother's Mansion by Spice and Kitty. This is volume 6. And it is a historical fantasy, political intrigue, there are kingdoms, happenings. And the author of the original story is Spice and Kitty, and the artist is Orca. And I will just say the artist is impeccable in this series. It is a rather substantial series, so there's a lot that's going to happen in these pages. And it can get dark, it's got twists, it's got interferences. So it's 100% a 5-star. It is the last in the series so far. So I will be waiting a while until the next book comes out. But I couldn't go past it. I was like, no, let's fully catch up and then we'll just wait. Exercise some patience and read other books in the meantime. So for Mothman, a 5-star prediction. This is it. Prompt number 4 is the Rougarou. That's what I'm calling this cryptid, is Rougarou. That's probably incorrect. But the Rougarou's prompt is read a translated book. I love translated fiction, so this was not a problem for me to choose. In fact, I pretty much chose it at the moment I saw this prompt. My translated choice for this prompt is Villains Are Destined to Die by Kwon Gyo-eul. This is a Korean light novel, and it is a fantasy transmigration / lit RPG series. And this is novel 2. I just love the covers. Look at that. So this originally was written in Korean and is now getting an English translation. And I am enjoying it muchly. This is very game style because our main character has entered the world of a dating sim game pretty much. But she enters as the villainess. And her path is pretty much surrounded by death on all sides, and so she is trying to survive, and to survive this game world she must win over one of the male leads. However, there may be shenanigans going on, let's just say that, and our poor girl just wants to survive. She doesn't want to find love. She's like, well, let me just survive this world. And so we're going to see if she can. But yes, I love this series. So that was an easy choice for our Rougarou. There's this one here. It doesn't like to sit. There's also a patch over here that also sticks out. So it's swooped back currently. Prompt number 5 belongs to the Squonk. And the Squonk has chosen read an emotional book. I must admit, when I see the word emotional, it is always related to sad in my head. So emotionally sad books. And I'm not sure whether I'm right in that mood at this point in time. However, this one is a contemporary fiction / romance. It has the romance tag, so maybe it will just be heartfelt, heartwarming, and not just me bawling my eyes out the whole time. So that's what we're hoping. And the book is The Life Experiment, and it is by Jess Kitching. So as I said, it is a contemporary fiction with the romance tag. Don't know if that's true. I haven't read the book, believe it or not. My friend actually gifted it to me for my recent birthday. So I haven't done much experimenting. I mean, research into it. I am going in blind, pretty much. There is a slight blurb. Seems that the main characters, which is a dual POV, are down on their luck, and so they join an experiment, which tells them when they're going to die. So they better get their life in order by the sound of things. Yeah, we'll try that one out for an emotional book. Next up we have the Thunderbird, and I don't know if anyone remembers, but there used to be a really old puppeteering show called the Thunderbirds, and I don't think that's what they mean here, since it is a cryptid creature and not a sci-fi show. But for the Thunderbird prompt, we do have read a book with folklore or mythology. Another book my friend recently gifted me is The Rooted and the Winged by Samantha Curran. This has folklore in it, so it does fulfill the prompt. A lot of nature elements, so I think it's inspired mostly by Celtic folklore. We have Fafnir, who is a fairy with immortal blood, and we have Essen, who is a dryad. It is filled with little illustrations, which will definitely get me in the folklore mood as well. Very interesting, so I shall be intrigued to read this one as our prompt number 6 book. If we get to it, again, we may not get to it, but I am intrigued. Prompt number 7 is a cryptid we all know, the Yeti. And its prompt is read a hyped book, a book you've heard a lot about. And so I have chosen The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower. This is a historical fiction sort of journaling little book. It's very skinny, but a lot of people have been hyping up this series recently, so I'll give it a try. I'm not sure if the humour is going to be my kind of humour, so we'll find out with this little book. In total, we have 147 pages, so it should be a very quick read, but that is my hyped book. The Kraken pops up for prompt number 8, which is read a nautical themed book. And I actually have a book on my TBR that is part of another vlog that is a little delayed in happening, so I do have to read this book for that one. I may as well do 2 in 1 if it gets selected during this coming month. And that book is In Search of the Castaways, or The Children of Captain Grant by Jules Verne. He is a French author, and it is a sci-fi classic fiction. And it is book 5 in the Extraordinary Voyages collection. This is the first digital book on the list, so I have nothing to show, and I have nothing to read off to tell you what it's about. But I believe it's the children of a Captain Grant, and they join forces with an aunt or something, or an uncle, and they set off to different lands. They actually drop by in Australia at some point, so that will be intriguing to read. And I think they're searching for their father's ship, but don't quote me on that. I'm sure there will be some bits that are a product of its time, but it is a nautical voyage. They voyage to these different spots, so that should be fun if we get to it again. For prompt number 9, we get the Bunyip, which is read a book by an Australian author. I actually had several options for this, but I did go again with another old book, and that is Jim and Wally by Mary Grant Bruce. This is not only by an Australian author, it is also about Australians in the early 1900s. So I believe back then it was just considered fiction. However, it is now considered historical fiction because it is set in the early 1900s. This is book 5 in the Billabong series, which again follows mainly an Australian girl and her brother and his friend and their father. However, they are currently fighting in the war, so they're in England and France, but they are Australians. I could have put this as an emotional book because war and adventures usually involve quite a few tears. Again, a few moments that are a product of its time, which I may not agree with but understand, are going to be present. But otherwise, I love the family dynamics and friendship and mateship that are in these books, so I am hopefully going to get to this one. I did say the next time we put this on a TBR, I had to get to it. So we'll see whether the game agrees. This next one is one that I am not going to pronounce correctly, and that is the Mapinguari, which is read a slow-paced book. This slower-paced book that is very relaxing and cozy is Rainbow Valley by L.M. Montgomery. We are following Anne's family in their little Rainbow Valley. So I believe a lot of it is focusing on the kids in this. So this is book 7 in the Anne of Green Gables series. So Anne is now grown up and her children are having their own imaginative, chaotic adventures. Of course, I love the early Anne books, but the later Anne books, heart-wrenching. I love them so much, but there are such sad moments. And I do have a soft spot for the kids. So this may have tears in it too, but we're hoping it's just a joyful, jolly, heartwarming time, not heart-wrenching time. We have 6 cryptids left, and next up is the Fresno Night Crawler, which is read a book at night. So it isn't really a prompt of the book, it's more a prompt that you must read it during the nighttime hours. So I actually have a spin wheel called the Wheel of Doom or Peace, which is pretty much a 10 before the end of 2026 choice wheel that me and my friend made. And so I've been doing fairly well. I didn't get last month's done, but I need one of those books on the list to try and tackle this month. And this one I will be reading no matter what. And that is Cities of Smoke and Starlight. It is book 1 of the Gate Chronicles by Ali Ernest, and it is a fantasy, steampunk sci-fi with a smidge of romance in it. I believe it's a slow burn romance, so I highly doubt we'll get anything super romantic in book 1. But I will be reading it in the evening before bed, and hopefully we can get through it. As long as I section off a little amount for each of the 31 days, I should be able to finish it. Our next cryptid on the list is the Nandi Bear, and its prompt is read a book with an animal on the cover. So I chose Nancy Drew Mystery Stories, The Secret of Shadow Ranch. This is book 5 of the Nancy Drew series, and it is written by Carolyn Keene, which isn't just one author, it's a collection of authors under the one pen name. This is just a middle grade mystery. It's a classic. A lot of people have heard of them. A lot of them people have read them. So I'm actually going through the Nancy Drew series for the first time ever. So this will be the next one on the list. And this cover has the horse on the cover. I do realise that both middle grade mysteries I have chosen for this challenge are in fact horse ranch stories. And I did not choose that. It just kind of happened. The Flatwoods Monster is the next prompt, and it is read a book that is out of this world, which pretty means a fantasy world or a twisted world or something a bit wacky, and so I went with a fantasy book. It is part of a fantasy series that I've been slowly making my way through. I am only 2 books deep, okay? But I am enjoying the series, so I chose Deathwind by Tara Gracie, and it is a fantasy romance. Book 3 of the Elven Alliance series. I believe it's the last of their sort of first little trilogy. It's like it's all part of the one series, but there are little sectors that aren't officially announced. It's just little sections off. So we're following a human and elf couple as they try to prevent war between the elves, the orcs, and the humans. And there's guns and fighting and a lot of stuff going on. A lot of political kingdom intrigue, as well as including panic attack, anxiety representation. So it is a YA book series, I believe, but it does have those more mature or solemn subjects in it. Final 3 quickfire rounds. Jackalope is next up, and it is read a book set in North America. For half a second, I was lulled into believing that this prompt was going to be difficult for me, and then I realised, no, it's not. So I chose The Road from Roxbury. This is by Melissa Wiley, and it is book 3 of the Charlotte Years, which is part of the Little House prequels. So it is a middle grade historical fiction. And so we're following Laura Ingalls Wilder's grandmother? Let me look at the family tree here. Yeah, Laura's grandmother. So that suits the prompt perfectly. It is going to be an easier read if it does get chosen during the month. Next up, we have the Mongolian deathworm. Sounds terrifying. And its prompt is read a low-rated book. So this can be a Goodreads rating of 3.5 or below, or a book with less than 1,000 ratings. This one is just above the 3.5, but it only has roughly 500 reviews, so it suits the prompt. And I chose book 2 of the Riven Wild series, Within the Hollow Heart by Melissa Wright. It is a romantasy book. I read book 1, which is Beyond the Filigree Wall. It has fae, but it's hidden. Like, the humans are hiding the fact that they exist, but not really. It's a bit confusing. That was one of the reasons why I gave the first book 3.5, was because it got a little confusing about who knew and what wasn't known and why they thought some people were crazy even though they knew that certain things did exist. It was all over the place. But we're going into book 2 and hoping that some of that gets clarified. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just have a lovely little romantasy, heavy on the romance, and won't get far into the other thing. But it promises to be an easy fantasy romance read. And finally, we have the Skunk Ape, and its prompt is read a book you've been avoiding. Wow. Way to call me out. No, I have chosen Valley of Dragons by Christina Bear. This is the final book, the 5th book in the Secrets of Ormdale series. This is a historical fiction. It is a fantasy. It's got dragons in it. It's set in England in an era of steam and factories and those sorts of things. So there was a little political undertone to the series, but it is mostly, historical fantasy. I'm hoping an event happens in this because we've been waiting for it for the past 3 books and we haven't gotten there yet. I am a little frustrated with the main character, so we'll see whether the finale wraps everything up nicely and wins me back to some characters and saves some others. The only reason I've been really avoiding it is because I've been betrayed by the main character and because this is a chunkier book for me. Okay, I'm a bit of a wimp. I consider anything over 400 pages a long book. Usually I think anything over 350 to be a long book. And this is a 500-page book, but I have been doing better recently. I have been reading several 500-plus page books. I just have to section it off and slowly get there. So let's hope I don't get this book right at the end of the month, if I'm going to get it. But we shall see what the readathon and my personal gamified version of the readathon gets in the end. And thus completes our huge pile. I think only 4 books are digital. The rest are in this pile. We're not going to read all of these. I'm just spoiling you for the next videos, but we're not going to read all of these. But we are going to read, hopefully, a bingo or 2's worth of them. Again, a huge thank you to Teresa, and thank you to her and Nala for running the teams, and we shall see how we all do. I wouldn't say I'm the most competitive person around. However, hopefully it gives me a little bit of motivation. I'm not great with Discord, and that's where most of it goes down. So I'll try to be a bit more active. I haven't been a Discord girly since the streamer days, which is about 8 years ago. It's been a while since I've been active on the Discord, but I'm going to try. For the Cryptid Creatures, I'm going to try and be involved. As I said, all details on Teresa's channel in that video, and if you're on Team Chupacabra, let me know down below. We shall support each other. And if you're on Team Bigfoot, good luck. Good luck. You can still let me know. I may be a team player, but I am also a whole of the readathon player. I just want us to have good fun. So best of luck to you all with September reads, and I will be doing reading vlogs over the month. It might seep into the next month. We'll see. I'd only release a book once a week, and there are only a certain number of Tuesdays in the month. So we'll see you throughout September. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you. Other than that, have a wonderful read. Till next time. Peace.
T26